April showers fall to earth, and a rainbow blooms in the eastern sky. Some of the rainwater runs to the sea, some is drawn up in the heat of the sun, and then is transformed into vapor, forming towering rain clouds, and the cycle of life begins again. See, friends, the mysteries of our world are so close to us, so much a part of our waking moment that we can actually run the risk and miss out on these marvels, and we can take them for granted. Yet, uh, yet who has not wondered about this question? What force shaped this vast, complex web of life around us? Who made all these things? All everything that we see in our midst. We spend summers camping, and at night we could see all this wonderful, beautiful scenery around us. If you look around you, there's the trees, there's plants and flowers, there's the grass below you. And then you look up in the sky at night and you look at the sunset. All these wonders point us to the fact that there is one creator. And you could probably imagine who made all these things in such complex detail. What mechanism, in other words, what mechanism holds the forces of nature in perfect balance and at the same time unleashes them in the form of natural disasters? We could see those things happening too around us. And and just recently in the news, we could see how um, even the hurricanes had has affected us, turning into floods and affecting human life as we see it being witnessed in our day to day. And how do we answer the most basic question of all? How do we answer the question, where did all these wonders and marvels come from? And where do we find them? Even in the Bible. See, as we start the new series that we have, uncovering or discovering the mysteries of the Bible, we will look at the very first mystery that we can see in the book of Genesis. And the Bible's answer is clear in all these questions that we have. Our universe in all its splendor, our world and all its wonders, our human bodies, even, and all their complicated parts. All these vast yet intricate creations sprang from one source, and from one source alone, from an intelligent being operating with a deliberate design. And this is the hand and this is the mind of God. We will look at these three things today, um, our universe and the world in all its wonder, and even our human bodies in all its complicated parts. See, the best known biblical account of creation could be seen in chapters 1 and also chapter 2 of Genesis. And we could see here the account where God created in 7 days, in 7 miraculous days, um, this creation of His. And it says there in verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. See, in the beginning, God. You'll wonder who the source and origin of everything is. It's God. And many have disputed this fact over the centuries, at least in the past 3 or 4 centuries, where they have disputed the claims of the Bible and what it tells us about the origin of the universe. But here we could just see, and we could see at least God's working schedule. Let's look at the first one, God's working schedule. And this is it. We'll just summarize it. The first day of creation, what do we see? We see here the creation of light. God said, "Let there be light." Then He divides the light from the darkness. What do we also see in the second day? Second day, creation of space and water. He separates the atmospheric upper water from the earthly lower water. On the third day, creation of plants and vegetation. First, he separates the water from the land, and then the earth then brings forth green grass, plants, trees, and vegetation of every kind. On the fourth day, the creation of the sun, the moon, and the stars. On the fifth day, creation of the fish and the fowl. And on the sixth day, the creation of land animals and people. And as we know, God blessed all these things and rests on the seventh day. See, um, we can see here that on the sixth day, during the creation of land animals and people, we see here at least two things, very important things that we could see. We could see here the creatures, all of them, livestock and all the wild beasts, being created by the hand of God, by the voice of God even. He speaks forth into creation all these things. But on the sixth day, we see here the creation also of the, we see here two things. We can see here in chapter 1, verses 26 to 27, that we were created in the image of God. And then we see here also the instructions from God that people are to rule over all nature. People are to fill the earth with their own kind. And then in chapter 2, verse 15, it tells us to cultivate and care for this beautiful home, the Garden of Eden, and to eat also from any tree except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then to also provide the names. This is all um, human beings' responsibility. So it comes with the privilege, but it also comes with the responsibility. And then on the seventh day, God rests. And the seventh day is important that we note that even God rested on the seventh day. So my question is this: who are we to display or to show God that we don't have to have a rest day? There's always the one day in the week where we could spend as a Sabbath, where we spend time with Him alone. We marvel at His creation and we thank Him for all His blessings. See, this is the work of God in our lives. In seven literal days, we see how God works. And I will just read a few excerpts from an article that we could see here, and see that the fact that the universe works is a marvel in itself, and it's a masterpiece of both balance and proportion. And on any clear night, for example, or any clear day, just look up in the sky and you'll find a mystery in plain view. We could see, for example, the moon. See, you don't have to believe in those movies or the man in the moon phrases to find our closest neighbor in space, that it's an enigma. It's truly an enigma in the riddle. For the moon plays a mystifying role in our lives on the earth. Most importantly, from 250,000 miles away, it regulates our seasons by stabilizing the tilt of the Earth's axis. Friends, can you imagine our world without it? Instead of a 1.5 tilt, the Earth swings, for example, then swings like a pendulum. Its temperature and climate as erratic as its trajectory. The moon also plays, friends, an important role in with the sun, together with the sun, in coordinating and controlling the tides. See, if you allow this, the balance to go haywire, the oceans of the earth could just surge, and just like a bathtub water at the mercy of a playful child, we could see the the disaster that it will that will result. And so, in short, the moon, friends, the moon itself keeps the earth inhabitable for us. It's one wonder that we can too easily take for granted. We can also look at the sun. See, the Earth's sun is a star, as we learned from elementary. And that star is closest to us, and thus the brightest star that we can see. In fact, it makes up 98% of all the mass of our solar system. Could you imagine, for example, more than 1 million Earths? 1 million Earths could fit in the sun itself. That's how big the sun is. The temperature at the sun's core can be as much as 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. And unlike our planet, the sun is not made up of hard matter. Instead, it's a constantly revolving ball of erupting gas, mostly hydrogen and helium. So, of all the mysteries, friends, built in this delicate mechanism of our universe, one of the greatest is this. The mystery is this: the precision of the distance between the Earth and the Sun. It is perfectly balanced to support our human lives. See, closer, it would be impossible to keep water on our planet from evaporating and even boiling away. But farther, we can see the Earth's water would freeze solid. That's how balanced um, our universe is. And we could see and imagine the precision and the detailed work that the designer of these things have put into.